Alrighty then. Successful indie author, full presentation today. Get out of your own way. I think this is one of the most important ones that I give, and probably one of the best because it talks about you. It all comes back to you because, especially as self published authors, indie authors, and even traditionally published authors, it still comes back to you. So, what do we do about that? Here we are. Here's some slides. Everything's working like it's supposed to. What are the objectives of this session? Let me put it on the screen over here. There we go. Identify the sources of self-sabotage. Learn to face your fears because they do always come back to fear. Build confidence in your own abilities, and then find and nurture support. You're not out there alone. You have a lot more support than you realize. Maybe you write alone, but you are not alone as an author. And that's what Successful Indie Author is all about. It's all of us together helping each other out. Okay, so maybe you're overwhelmed and underpaid, and you have a complete lack of direction. What do you need to do? You need to give yourself direction. You need to go, move forward, write that book, and then get it out there, and then write that next book. Removing self-sabotage isn't, let me get all my moving parts here in order, isn't as simple as telling yourself to stop doing something. Hey, stop holding yourself up. Get that book written. Really? Does that work? You know it doesn't work. So shine a light on the obstructions and help shrink those barriers before they pull you in, drag you down, and keep you from getting where you want to go. Do you really want to go there? If the answer is yes, then remove every obstacle in your way. Build a plan, execute the plan, and keep moving forward. Some people make it too easy to find ways to sabotage themselves. Don't do that. It's easy to say don't, but look for it. Shine the light on the behaviors that aren't conducive to you reaching your goals, and then do away with them. Train yourself to not let those barriers hold you up. Every barrier is simply an action plan that has not been implemented. So the action plan to get around it, to get over it, to get through it. There's only 3 things you can do. Or you stop and stand there and do nothing and let it defeat you. Keep in mind, being a self-published author, you're earning better for yourself and your future, the future of your family. If you can be successful as an author, look at everything you can do. You don't have to go to the soul-sucking day job. You can just hang out here. I'm in my sweatshirt and flannel lined pants because it's cold out there this morning. And Stanley's sleeping behind me and all the good things in life because I didn't let writing a book. I didn't let first advice on my first book was don't quit your day job. Well, I had already quit my day job. I retired the second time and I was writing and I was going to be successful. So that wasn't just a barrier. That was a challenge saying you can do better. You being me. I knew I could do better. That first book, it wasn't great. The first marketing campaign was bad. The covers were horrible. But where do we go from here? Up. Nowhere to go but up. So start climbing and keep climbing. No one is choking you. No one is holding you back, except take a better look. You're going to find out that it's usually and most likely you. You're the one choking yourself and keeping yourself from getting where you want to go. What are some sources of self-sabotage? Sorry about the coughing. I took Stanley on his walk this morning and it's like 13 degrees out there. And so it super activates my asthma and makes it worse than anything. All right. Believing successful people are lucky. It's luck. I just haven't been lucky in my life. Well, I believe you make your own luck. You work hard. My first 5 years as an author, 5 years. I wrote 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I averaged over 1 million words a year written, and I got feedback, and those words were better and better. By the end of the 5th year, I was writing some pretty good words. I was writing books in one draft. Everything was pretty good because I trained myself. I worked hard at it. So am I lucky? 5 years, 365 days a year writing? No, it's work. The harder you work, you're going to find out the luckier you get. Perfectionism. I was not held back by that. I knew I could do better, but I also knew that doing better came with practice. I'm a golfer, big golfer, right? Or used to be anyway. And you get out on the course and you get this draw, hit the book every. So do you count for it, or do you go to the range and train yourself? I want to hit the ball straight. I want to hit a draw when I want to hit a draw. Training, practice. The only way you practice in writing is you write, and then you get feedback. I love short stories because that gives me, I can write a story in 1 or 2 days and I get feedback, and it really allows me to focus on, here's a certain part, an element that I want to, not just an idea to explore, but a way to write it. And that is, I think that has made me better than anything, because you write a full book. If you're off kilter, then well, you get that feedback. Say, geez, 60,000 words. There was a month's worth of work. No. Short stories. Short stories are the key to training and success. What about avoidance? Helping others, delaying. Oh, let me help you with your cover. Let me do this. Oh, let me volunteer for everything. That's not good for your psyche. Volunteering, yes, I strongly encourage it within reason. You still have to prioritize yourself and your family. So if you're doing too much and all of a sudden the one thing that has to fall out is your writing, well, then you're doing something wrong. You need to be able to write. You need to be able to tell those stories. You need to be able to perform as a professional author. And no, it doesn't take 800 hours a week. It doesn't take that much time. As long as you're training yourself and learning what you need to know when you need to know it, so you can write a better book, and so you can publish it, so you can market it in a better way. Oh, but I don't know marketing. How many books do you have out? One. Of course you don't know marketing. With one product, yeah, write another book. That's my answer. I don't know how to make a fortune off one book. I don't know anybody who's made a fortune off one book. It takes more books to get them out there, to get them visible. What about negative self-talk? I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. I got a C in high school English. Who cares? Telling a good story is unique and individual. Nobody can tell us your story like you. Learning to write it down, well, that comes back to practice and training. I'm not going to train. Well, then, okay, then then you're not going to be a professional author, because if you're not willing to do the work, guess what? Tell me which profession you can do without doing the work. I'm a lawyer. 3 years of law school, 30,000, 60,000 pages of case law that I had to read. Holy cow. But that's what you have to do as a professional author. You read a lot of books. That helps more than anything. So reading, but then writing. Writing is a little bit different skill than reading and storytelling, because you can be a vocal storyteller and be incredible. But when you write it down, now you have to insert those different elements, and you have to use your words and not how you speak and facial expressions and gestures to get your message across. You have to do it all with your words. And that takes a little bit different skill, which then takes practice and training. What other things do you do? Do you say, maybe I'll get this book finished next week? Maybe I hope to have this book finished. Those are self-sabotage words. How about, I will get this book done, and this is what it's going to take. I need to write 1,500 words a day. Now, if you've only been able to average 500 words a day, but you need to get 1,500 words a day to reach your goal, maybe your goal is a little too aggressive. Maybe go from 500 to 600 to 700, incrementally improve your word count until you get there. A reasonable plan, an achievable plan, not just, I'm going to triple my word count overnight because I said it and I'm going to do it. Well, maybe you will, but that's hard. That's really hard to do on yourself, because now you might tend and decline on the quality of your words. You want to write the best words you can always. And by trying to jam and tripling your word count, maybe that's not the best way to go. Do the words, get the good words in the best way you can. Now, what about simple doubt? Does that voice at the back of your mind, does it have any validity? Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. And this, you got to keep writing and getting feedback, so you learn to train that voice that, yes, this isn't good, and I don't know why. Maybe get somebody to tell you why. Hey, why isn't this working for me. I'm reading it, but it's not clinching. It's not grabbing my soul and pulling me in. Simple doubt. But that comes through training. It's not that, hey, this book isn't as good as my favorite author. Well, no kidding, it's not. It's not until you've done enough and done the work and learned yourself, not just learned by reading great books, but learned yourself that storytelling, it has these elements. And here I'm doing this and I'm making this magic happen, because you can. But it takes practice, it takes a little work. So you arm yourself for the battle you wage to write your book. That's you. You're out there with the sword, just you. So how are you going to wage this battle? You learn to face your fears. What are you afraid of? So many people have written a book and they've rewritten that first book and they've rewritten it and they don't publish it. What are you afraid of? Somebody telling you you're a clown? You know what? People are already telling you you're a clown and they don't even know you. People are already telling you write like crap and you haven't published anything for anybody to read, because there's people out there who just want to see the world burn. Now, there's a lot of people out there, a lot more, who want to be entertained. Nobody writes your story like you. So write those words, but you got to get them out there and then face the real people. Don't take advice from people you wouldn't ask for help. But you have to get your book out there. Strangers are going to read your book. Strangers are going to comment on it. What are you afraid of it? Is your ego so fragile that you can't take a little criticism? My first book, holy cow. I'm a smart guy, lawyer. All right, did all these, successful in life. Yeah, I got lambasted. One of my first books, actually my very first book, one of the reviews said I was an embarrassment to the entire state of Alaska. Okay. I guess I got over it. Sold 1 million copies since then. So, all right, I'll be okay. I'll survive that one, because reality says people want to read my stories. But until you're there, you have to go through that. You're an embarrassment to the entire state of Alaska until you can get to a place where you're not. All right. Does anybody care that I'm an embarrassment to the entire? No, no one cares. One troll online. Who cares? Reality says, get your ego in check, write that book, and enjoy the fruits of your labors down the line. It's not like, hey, I wrote one book, I should be considered great. They should put me up on a pedestal. There should be statues. No, it takes a lot of work before you get there. So when you find what you're afraid of, when you find something that makes you stop and say, oh, I'm not sure I want to do this, write it down. Write it down and put it off to the side. Put it on sticky notes. And now you've got all these sticky notes saying, oh, yeah, somebody called me an embarrassment to the state of Alaska. And then write down the mitigation on a separate sticky note. How do you do that? Well, I don't want to be an embarrassment. Can you control somebody saying you're an embarrassment to the state of Alaska? I can control writing good words and telling a story that makes sense. Okay, write good words, tell a story that makes sense. All right, good. Good flow. Get some readers to take a look and say, what do you think? And they might tell you, you're doing okay. This is a good story. What's happening next? Great. Nobody dwelled on the one thing that might have, that you could have written better. And then you just go write it better, that one part. You don't rewrite the whole book or refuse to publish it. So write down the mitigation of that fear and put it on the side of your monitor. So you're always looking at the mitigation, but you're not looking at the fears. Okay. People who think they suck so bad. Oh man, I don't deserve to be here. Why am I an author? Me, I never considered myself an artist. Are you kidding? I was told once that I needed granimals to dress myself. Yes, granimals, the clothing that had the tags that you just matched them up, that these clothes go together, this top and this pair of pants. Here's a secret. Your first book is going to suck. No matter how many times you rewrite it. The more times you rewrite it, the more it will suck. So don't keep rewriting the same book. Write the book, write the next book. If you have to go back and fix the first book after you've learned enough to do so and not before you've learned enough, then do so. And get that out there. It's backlist. It's a way to make money from your practice, because that first book is practice. Who is your peer group? Authors just like you. There's a lot of them. Successful Indie Author. That Facebook group. Yeah, I know the guy who runs it. Pretty good dude. Keeps it positive. Everybody has an opportunity to excel. Everybody has an opportunity to do better for themselves. Nobody takes credit for anybody else's work. So it's all you. So guess what? If your book fails, that's your fault. But it's not permanent failure. All it is, hey, what's wrong with my book? How can I learn from this so I can do better next time, so I can be successful? Separate your emotions from the objective data. When I was told don't quit at your day job, when I was told I was an embarrassment to the entire state of Alaska, do you think I quit writing? Of course not. So separate emotion from objective data. But this book has a 4.5 average rating with hundreds of reviews. Okay, so what's that 1-star mean? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Could I have written the book better? Sure. I look at it now and say, oh man, I can't believe I use that kind of wording. It's kind of stilted here. It drags a little here. Good story is a good story. Trust the readers. Trust the 90% who are giving you good reviews. Don't dwell on those who don't matter. So you build confidence in your abilities by getting feedback, getting that book out there. If you keep rewriting the same book, you're only getting your own feedback and you cannot be trusted. Yes, I'm telling you that. You're the author, you're writing the story, and you can't be trusted to give yourself quality feedback. You need strangers to read your book and then get you feedback. Not Uncle Billy, who hates everything and everybody and is miserable with his life, but strangers who read that genre. So if you're writing urban fantasy, you want a few urban fantasy readers to take a look at your book. What do you think? Maybe a few urban fantasy authors who are at the same stage in their journey as you are. Get feedback. Beta readers, developmental editors. I'm not a big fan of developmental editors because they're trying to help you tell a story. Some are magnificent and help people write better. Others, they're changing your story in a way that you never intended. It's still your story. So I'm a big fan of beta readers, people who just tell you, hey, I would stop reading here because it starts to drag. I really want to know what happens next here. Okay. Flow and pace. That's a learned behavior. That's a learned trait. And so your beta readers can really help you with that. Boy, I wanted to stop reading here. It picked up again here where I was interested again, and just highlight those there and then take a look. That's quality feedback that you can work with. Peer groups, the value of community, like the Successful Indie Author Facebook group. Reread some of your older stuff. Now, you don't know where you are unless you look back and see how far you've come. And even if you haven't published that first book yet, look at how far you've come as an author. Maybe you're in some author groups. Maybe you've done some training sessions. Maybe you've purchased some craft books. What are you doing to improve your ability as a professional author? Professional self-development, study, that's what you do. So you look back at your old stuff, say, yes, I could write this better. However, it sold really, really well. I think the second book I wrote, which led to a 9-book series, I think I've sold 130,000 copies of the books in that series. So I'm calling it a win, a big win. And that book, I look back, I could write it a hell of a lot better now, I think, but I don't think I could write it with as much passion as I wrote that first story because I was so excited about the story. Let's see what cool transition I got for this one. Oh, you have a great deal more resources than you realize. And that's, you start writing. When I first started writing, there was one group out there and it was K-boards and it was a little bit toxic. That's where they told me, don't quit your day job. Hey, thank you for that advice. Get it the hell out of here. But it was just me. Nowadays, there's a lot more resources. There's better resources. There's ways that you can get help, but it's still you. You're sitting alone at your computer writing. And that's what I did. Writing, driving out because I made it local. It was a post-apoc. Go drive, take a look, write. I was trying to get 1,000 words a day, work 8 hours doing nothing but writing and still might not get 1,000 words. That's how it is when you start. Nowadays, I'm at, it was 6 a.m. when I started this. I was already at 2,000 words on the day for my book, but it's the home stretch. I'm at 62,000 words, target is 65, and I think I'm going to go long, but that's okay. I promise it to my editor by tomorrow. I'm going to be good. I'll send it to her tomorrow. It'll be 65, 68, 70,000 words, but it'll be done tomorrow because I see everything I need to bring it home. Alrighty then. What about you? Get out of your own way, get that book done, and move forward. So how do you find and nurture support? Writing's a lonely business, but you don't have to be alone. Find a healthy writing group, find a healthy sprint group, and oh, by the way, SIA-writingchallenge.com. Go over there. Find a lot of people just like you who've put down goals and are documenting their daily word counts and are tracking. So you go to your own project dashboard on that website. Doesn't cost you anything. That's SIA has footed the bill for this whole thing. And yeah, I hit you with a couple ads on that. All right, whatever. You don't have to click on them. And trying to help you with craft. This video will get posted on the sidebar as well. So you could pull it up at any time during the month and just write. But it's with your goal. If your goal is 10,000 words in a month, then that's what you try to get. I challenge you to go a little bit beyond that, maybe 10,500 words. But there's a big community, and the tab where you track and take a look and see what everybody else is working on in regards to their project, in regards to total word count on that project and words on the day. That's a tab called community. That's all of us writing together to get to a better place. What about readers who support you? You published that first book, you sold 5 copies. That's 5 opportunities for readers to give you feedback, for readers to enjoy your work, for readers to tell you they can't wait to find out what happens next. The readers, it starts with 5, goes up to 10, 100,000. You can make a very, very good career with 2,000 core readers. That's really all you need. And here's something that may seem common sense, but not a lot of people adhere to it. Don't do more of what's not working. You may take that and say, well, I didn't sell that first book, so let me write a new genre. Let me write a new genre. Let me write a new. You know what's not going to work? Writing genre hopping without ever getting any kind of traction in one genre. That was one of my problems that I started off with. I wrote 4 books in 3 different genres. Don't do that when you're starting off. Build some traction. So write 3 books in one genre and then find the traction. So I didn't start getting traction until I had 3 books in my post-apoc genre, and I had 3 books in my space adventure series. When I had those 3 books, then I started promoting the first book. People were buying it. People were reading the second book. People were paying full price for that 3rd book. Holy cow. Look at this. Money is flowing to me instead of from me for covers, for editing, for marketing, for advertising. Holy cow. Look at that money flowing to me. How can you beat that? All right, Jen, thanks for the comment. I keep getting distracted and trying to read your whole comment. Yes, if you have a bunch of books, you've got to look back, and this is the business mind that says, I've got 4 books in 3 different genres. I need to focus on one genre. That was 2016. And 2017, I wrote 10 books in one genre. I wrote in one series. And I think we sold $250,000 worth of those books that year. So taking that as a win, you find out what works, do more of that, do a lot of that, and do it fast and do it well and deliver it to your readers. And the readers keep piling on and on. Holy cow, that nothing delivers like that, which is what I'm doing right now. I polled my readers in the beginning of the year. What do you want to see more of me? Because my 8th book in my Ian Bragg series just wasn't taking off. The sales didn't pay for even the cover and the cover and editing, and let alone the audiobook. What am I doing wrong? My readers at a rate of 4 to 1 wanted more mill sci-fi. So right now I'm giving them all mill sci-fi. I've got a 9-book series where I'm finishing up the 6th book. That's the one I'll finish tomorrow. And another book that we only publish one book a year with Ira Heineken, who does the vast majority of the writing, but it is an incredible military sci-fi series, some more mill sci-fi, and all of a sudden, holy cow, look at those sales picking up. Look at it taking off. A lot of people are having a down year. A lot of big authors are having a down year, but I'm not. I'm actually ahead of last year because I focused 100% on the genre that my readers wanted to read. So 2000, now I've got more readers than that want the military sci-fi. So I'm giving it to them, and they're rewarding me for that by buying those books. So nurture support. Professionals development. Once again, let me harp on that. Study. There are groups out there. Learn Self-Publishing has a great course on marketing. Steve Piper has a course on marketing. And those are where you join. You're going to be with a group of other authors who are going through the course at the same time. Even though they're your pace, there's still there's people there, and you'll have access to ask questions and get answers. Boy, hard to beat that with other people who are on at the same point in their journey, asking the same questions, and you find out that yes, you are not alone. There's a lot of folks here doing the same thing and having the same questions and the same answer that applies to you too. What you have to do as part of getting your overcoming obstacles is accepting that failure is a method to learn. Look at Starship. How many of those did they explode before now? The last two, 100%. They got back to Earth as they needed to. They didn't blow them up because they're demonstrating, and that they learned. They learned and built and grew, and now it's better technology because they failed. They failed fast. They're blowing up. How much of those things cost? $100 million to build a starship, spaceship? And then they're blowing them up, not intentionally, but they were learning. So the next one wouldn't blow up until farther down range, and then the next one, and then all of a sudden they don't blow up anymore. There you go. That's learning. So are you expecting to be a unicorn? A unicorn, that rare creature who publishes a book and it takes off and sells 100,000 copies. Don't expect that because they're extremely rare. So go outside and search for a unicorn. And then when you find it, you'll know that, yes, that's me. And if you don't find a unicorn, no, that's not me. Me, I'm a smart guy. I'm good. I'm successful at everything I do, except when I publish that first book and the second book and the third book and the fourth book. No, not how you do it. It is how you do it if you're willing to learn from your mistakes. So get those books out there, learn, because guess what? You're not good until you are. And how do you get good? You practice, you take feedback from people you respect, and you write better. Write a better book next time. Don't do what didn't work, writing this book that didn't sell. And I'm telling you, yes, write 3 books in a series if you can, one series or one common genre. So anybody reading the first book, second book, or third book, they get the same kind of feeling from those books. So it doesn't have to be a series, but they have to be same genre. That's what I strongly suggest. If you genre hop, you're going to have a real hard time. So you keep those 3 books. If the first book doesn't sell, who's going to buy the second book or the third book? Exactly. Nobody. So, but when you have a third book out, now you can discount that first book, run some paid promotions, and put it in front of readers that you hadn't put it in front of before. Find new readers, always looking for new readers, but showing that, hey, there's 3 books in a series. Here's the first book for 99 cents. What do you think? A lot of people will pick up a 99-cent ebook. A lot of people. So 100 people, oh man, it doesn't even pay for the ad. But what if those 50 of those 100 buy the second book and then the third book? Now, yes, you're well above what it costs you for that paid newsletter to get that first book in somebody's hand. Really is as easy as that. And that first book, you might get some feedback. 3 stars because this. Okay. You can go back and fix those ebooks, right? Go back and fix it and publish it later. New readers. And if you had 100 readers and you disappointed 100 of them, there's a billion readers of English. Those 100 readers, they might come back when you get popular later, but if you lose them, you're going to be okay. You will be okay. But if you wrote the best story you could, then why would you alienate all 100 of those readers? The best book you can. Always write the best book you can. And learn and keep writing. Really is as simple as that. So harsh truth here, stop being a victim. Oh, I wrote a book, but nobody cares. People aren't reading anymore. But stop it. because it provides a permanent alibi for your personal failures because you didn't learn to write better books or write books that people wanted to read, which is a little bit of a twist on writing a better story. Write a book that people want to read. It doesn't take much to make sure that you hit the right tropes by reading. If you're going to write in this genre because you love it, make sure you know what those tropes are that people will expect. If you have a dragon, great. Make sure you understand a 4-footed dragon, 2-footed dragon, wings. Are they feathers? Are they membranous? What kind of wings do they have? And because the readers will expect to know more about that dragon, not just, hey, he's a dragon, and you never describe him. Being a victim, it attracts attention. It generates sympathy. Oh man, I'm so sorry for you. Hey, let me buy your book because I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you. They ain't going to buy any of your other books, and they're not going to read it if they feel sorry for you. And it's not going to get the sales you think you're going to get. Social currency with like-minded people. You find those groups, you see them out there where they're all railing on something and wailing and gnashing of teeth and tearing their clothing. And there they are, a group of victims. Oh man, everybody's having a miserable day. What are they doing? What are they doing to improve? What are they doing to get more book sales? Have they written that second book, or are they only halfway through? I see people lament, oh, I don't know marketing, and they haven't even published the first book yet. Stop it. That's self-sabotage. You are never going to publish your book, and you're never going to sell any. If that's your attitude, write the book. Write the book all the way through the end. Don't be a victim before you're a victim. And guess what? Authors aren't victims, except when they do it to themselves. Hop on the political bandwagons, hop on some kind of something where everything is going the wrong way. And all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I'm just writing. That was my personal Facebook page. Well, then how did it get out? Nothing is personal in the social media world of today. So if you're going to say something you regret, don't say it. Don't put it on your private page. Don't put it anywhere. Be a better person than that. Be uplifting. Be positive. So disguises negative traits. That's being a victim. Oh, I put this on my personal page. Hey, how did it get out then? They should still accept my book. No, they're not. No, they're not. Don't be offensive. And then all of a sudden, hey, they should accept my book. People don't do that. So be good. So being an author, it gives you the opportunity to be a better person than you are, better than you were, because you can be bigger than yourself, especially once you start getting successful. Then people are looking to you, and you have to be a better person. And doesn't that feel better? Be a better person. Behaviors to avoid: never, ever blame the readers. Oh, readers suck because they're just dissing my book. They're giving me 1 stars. They're telling me how horrible an author I am. Are they giving you anything substantive? Are they giving you anything that, hey, okay, yeah, this is wrong with the book. I killed a dog in the first chapter just gratuitously, just to shock the readers and show them that I am going to break the boundaries. Well, yeah, don't do that. Don't kill the dog in the first chapter or ever. Don't blame the readers. Even if you're putting your book in the wrong reader's hands, or people are just being trolls, it still comes back to you. You need to put your book in the right reader's hands. Write a great story, put it in the right reader's hands. That's all you need to do. Everything else is counterproductive, and you're wasting time and effort. Rewriting the same book over and over and over, you still haven't written a book if you don't have it out there. Write that book and then publish it. Yes, I know. I rewrote my first book like 20 times, and it was still, you know what it needed? Just a professional editor, a copy editor. That's all, to go through it and make sure I finished the sentences and that the grammar and punctuation and the capitalization was all consistent. That's all I needed. But I put it out there anyway because I couldn't find an editor. But then I did. And then I did for every book. So every book since, editor, professional editor. I have a number that I can work with. Hey, Lit RPG is hot. I thought this Lit RPG is hot. I need to write it. I've been asked to write Lit RPG. You know what I haven't read? Lit RPG. So how am I going to write it if I don't read it? That's it. Don't jump into a hot genre because that you don't read. because you've got to understand what those tropes are, because that's the reader expectation. Genre equals marketing. If you dive into a genre because it's hot, but you don't know what that genre really is, because readers who like this will like your book if it meets what those readers expect. If you don't know what those readers expect, but you just say, hey, this book is lit RPG, all you're going to do is disappoint a lot of readers, and you're not going to get the sales, and it's going to tank that series before it even gets off the ground. You need to know the genre you're writing. So if you want to write romantasy, you better be reading romantasy and then see, oh, okay, I need to do this and this. Great. Being mercenary. I'm going to sell more books than you. I'm going to sell more books. Stop it. You can't control that. What you can control is writing a great book, putting a blurb on there that excites a potential reader and gets them to buy that book and then start reading and keep reading and say, hey, I want the next book. Get that second book on pre-order, click buy with one click. There they are. That's the greatest testament to the quality of a book. We have a question. Thanks for showing up, Moaz. See you here. Let's see what that question is. I'm planning on writing. This is exactly what I did with my Call Me Aries. However, unless you've already realized some success, because I knew this series, military sci-fi, I've written it before. I've written, I don't know, 5 different military sci-fi series. They wanted more of that. I know I can write it well. If this is a new genre for you, the first book, I might try to find a lot of beta readers and some first readers in order to make sure that that first book is going to resonate, and then write the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, because it's critical that that first book resonate with the right readership. So if it's a new genre, if it's an old genre, make sure that you get it reviewed by strangers until you've realized some success. But as a newer author, even if you have a lot of books out, if you still haven't really found any traction, then get that book reviewed by somebody, beta readers, other authors who might read your genre, and make sure that the book is okay. Otherwise, you're going to waste 6 months of writing, and nobody's going to buy that first book, and then nobody is definitely going to buy the next ones. So you got to make sure that first book rocks. All right, let's see what kind of sexy transition I got for this one. Oh, just like before, stop coming back to choking yourself. I can't do it. Oh, writing is so hard. Right? Stop it. Human beings are natural storytellers. Accuse a 3-year-old of doing something, and something that you know they did. Guess what? Here comes a story at 3 years old. Human beings are natural storytellers, so give them the opportunity, and they will. They will tell you a story. You can tell a story. Writing it down is a different skill set, but the backbone of that story is the same. Now, behaviors to embrace. Let's go back to what I've said twice already. Study your profession. If you want to write romantasy because it's hot and it's underserved, then read romantasy. Read Rebecca Yarros. Read some other romantasy authors and see what's it all about. What is the buzz? A story. And oh, by the way, there's romance. Even though they call it romantasy, yes, there's romance on there. There's some of it's open door sexual situations, and it's still the story. The story is extremely sound. It's a good, gripping story. And oh, by the way, there's sex in it too. Yeah, whatever. That's romantasy. Fantasy worlds, epic fantasy. G.R.R. Martin brought that back with Game of Thrones. Why not take advantage of it? But read it first. So study your profession, read your genre, and then make friends with author peers. I have to say, when I was, when Amazon still had author ranks, I was top 100 for, I want to say 1,100 consecutive days, right up until the last day. And then they removed author ranks. But I would look through, and out of those top 100 authors, I personally knew like 80 of them. And I was friends with about 50 of them. Like, this is okay. Because, hey, I was there too. They wanted to be friends with me. Hey, let's talk about writing science fiction. Hell yeah. Who doesn't want to talk about writing science fiction? Now, be kind to yourself. Write the best book you can, and then write one that's even better. So you write that first book. Anne McCaffrey is my favorite author. I wanted to write like Anne McCaffrey. I wrote my first book. Okay, hey, cool, look at this. And it's just like Anne, and I started reading it. It's like, this is not like Anne McCaffrey. Surprise. Of course it's not going to be. It could be close. It could be comparable in a certain way, but it's not. So you have to forgive yourself and be kind that you don't write like your favorite author. You write like you. And I am a few people's favorite. You're my favorite author. Geez, hard not to love that. So forgive yourself until you're better. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to have that perfect book. Maybe you have one book that just takes off and works great. Good for you. Is it perfect? You'll go through and I bet you find a sentence that you might want to change. So is it perfect then? Do you use the Oxford comma or not? Just depends how readers read it. They might think, well, this isn't perfect because it doesn't have the Oxford comma. So you publish your book, you get it out there. You've done the best you could. You're not going to make everyone happy. If you want to see that in practice, your favorite book, go jump on it on Amazon and see how many one-star reviews it's got. Me, I've got over 100 one-star reviews, but I'm a good author. I've got over 1 million books sold. Yeah. And I've got over 100 one-star reviews. I've got over 100 two-star reviews. And I've got 50,000, 60,000 4- and 5-star reviews. What should I pay attention to? Yeah. Be kind to yourself because there's a lot of people who are going to enjoy your stories once you get them out there and once you figure out what you really want to do as a professional author. What is the genre that you're best at that you also love to write? That is the sweet spot. And that's what I'm doing now with my military sci-fi. Hey, I like writing it. Might as well keep rolling. Trophies. What are you writing for? Me? I write to keep people happy, keep people entertained, and the money, of course. Even though, yeah, I spend a lot of it on other authors and stuff like that, but I'm not writing for any trophy. I don't even put in for awards. I don't ask my readers, not anymore. I did a couple times. Yes, I was a finalist for the Dragon Award, but trophies generally are bullshit. The trophy doesn't pay your bills, and trophies generally don't get you more sales. You know what gets you more sales? Readers who are extremely happy with your book. That'll get you more sales. Dungeon Crawler Carl. You can't look anywhere without seeing some Dungeon Crawler Carl. You know how many awards that book's won? What about Brandon Sanderson? $41 million Kickstarter. Obviously a very popular author. You know how many awards he's won? Yes, he's not trying to win awards. He's writing books that people want to read, and that is the difference. Who is voting on the awards? That's another thing. If it's other authors, are you writing a book for other authors? You're writing a book for readers. There's a hell of a lot more readers than there are other authors. Constant improvement, continuous improvement mindset. I've done a couple 5-minute focus videos on that. It's simply learning from failures and staying on track towards a goal. Know where you want to go. Develop an action plan to get there. That's a continuous improvement mindset. Hey, what didn't work? Don't do that. What did work? Do more of that. Simple enough. That's the continuous improvement mindset. So self-sabotage. Are you writing the best book you can? That's why the SIA writing challenge is not a set goal of 50,000 words or 60 or 20. You set the goal because that's what it will take for you to write the best book you can. If you have a full-time job and a toddler at home, I'd be amazed if you get 10,000 words in a month. And if you do, good on you. Good job. Way to go. Don't worry about trying to keep up with everybody else who doesn't have these other restrictions. Me, I'm retired twice. I've got Stanley back here. That's it. I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to do anything. I also have my retirement income. So I don't have that pressure of having to pay for stuff for a family because I also have a support net. But I didn't write any words until after I had retired for a second time. I retired from the Marine Corps, then went to law school, got a law degree, did the lawyer thing for a while, and then retired from that. So yes, if you're 25, you got a full-time job, you got a toddler at home, Don't compare yourself to me. I started writing when I was 52 after I had retired a second time. So don't compare yourself to me. Compare yourself to yourself. What does it take? So are you writing the best book you can? Are you studying the author profession? So me, I've got time. I'm trying to help, putting all this out there. This is available for free. So if you watch the recorded version on this, fine, watch it, zoom ahead, move back, do whatever you want. It's out there. It's available for free. You may have to watch an ad or two, but hey, that's what it takes, because I can make a little money off you watching the ads. So you invest a little of your time. I make a few nickels from YouTube, and we all win. I'll keep telling you what I'm doing, and hopefully you find something that you can do and understand that works for you, so you can be a better author, so you can move farther and faster up the hill of success. Are you making friends with authors of your genre? Right now, this is Thursday, November 6th. It's the last educational day of Author Nation in Vegas. So there's a lot of authors there. I don't know, 12, 1,300. Man, that's a lot of people, though. But there's no small talk, because you're talking about author stuff. And you can see, here's what genre they write. So talk to them, find out, see what's going on. Ask the speakers. The guest speakers are captive audiences. They give the presentation. Just wait. Talk to them afterwards. Go in the hallway. Buy them a beer. Buy them a coffee, and enjoy the conversation that go around what you love. Writing stories in this genre. Look for those self-sabotage words that are holding you back. Maybe, hope, perfect. Those are three big ones. It's not quite perfect yet. There is no such thing as perfect. Maybe. Listen for when you say maybe. Maybe I'll get this done today or tomorrow. I hope that I'll get it done. Well, when I say maybe I'll get this book done tomorrow, that just depends on what threads are going on. I know there's a hard stop, that there's no way I'm going to take longer than about 2 days to write this book. So there's no maybe to me finishing this book, because I'm at 62,000 words with a 65,000 word target. No maybe to it. Why? Why am I there? Because I hit my word count. Not every day, but I made up for it over time. And I've averaged, I think, 1,700 words a day is all on this book. Nowhere near my record. I think 6,700 words a day was my record. I wrote a 108,000 word book in 17 days, 18 days. And I thought it was pretty good. It flowed smoothly. That's for damn sure. That's when I write fast. It flows better for me. If I write too slowly, I double things up. I leave things hanging. Much better when I write quickly, because that's my mind is working. I'm completely embroiled in the story. So you got to find what works for you. And remember, when I said do more of that, do more of what works. And here's a hard question. One of the hardest questions you'll have to ask, and only you have to answer. Do you like yourself, even with your flaws? I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I still do like myself. I'm still trying to make up for those things by doing stuff like this, by running the Successful Indie Author Facebook group, by working with other authors and helping them. I've been in this business more than 10 years now. So I've learned a few things, sold 1 million books, and I think I bring some credibility to what I'm telling you. And there's a lot of things I hear people say maybe and hope all the time, and that's not how you run a business. I hear people say they can't market when they only have one book. That's not how you run a business. Imagine going into a store and there's only one book on the shelf. That's not, it's really hard to sell that. You need to become a marketer as opposed to an author. Me, I hate marketing. I'm not that good at it, but I'm good enough. But I have a lot of products, so I can direct people. You're in my store. Here, what would you like? Let's talk about military sci-fi. Let's talk about post-apoc. Let's talk about fantasy. Let's talk about thrillers. Okay, all different kinds of ways to direct the readers once they get there and say, oh my God, you've got a lot of books. Are you holding yourself to an impossible standard? And that impossible standard is, if my book doesn't sell 100,000 copies, that first book, I'm out of here. Well, that's an impossible standard. You might as well stop wasting your time writing a book, because you're probably not going to sell 100,000 copies on that first one. Not right away. Maybe you will eventually, but look at Game of Thrones, J.R.R. Martin. that became extremely popular once it was, hey, HBO picked it up. They're going to start showing this. They did a great job with special effects. Cool. He wrote that book, the first book, 30 years prior, 30 years before it really took off. So how much, so what kind of standard are you holding yourself to? Like, oh, geez, it has to take off right now and in high numbers, and I have to get a movie deal, and I have to get, otherwise I'm out of here. Don't waste the time because you're holding yourself to an impossible standard. Now tell me, what is holding you back? What's keeping you from realizing your goals? And it takes work. How much work are you willing to do? I'll do anything. Are you sure? Are you sure? Like men, hey, I'll die for my wife. Yeah, but would you do the dishes? Would you clean the house? Would you do this day in, day out? It's the little things. Being a professional author, it's all the little things that you have to do every single day. They're not time consuming. They're not super brain engaging. Like, hey, let me do a Facebook ad. So you jump on BookBrush, which makes it really easy, and you throw in some things together. Hey, here's a cool quip from one of my reviews. Great, take that, put that in there. Should it start a new Facebook ad? 5 minutes. Can I spend 5 minutes on invest 5 minutes in my business? Well, hell yeah. And oh, by the way, I'm writing and I'm right in the story now. I can't wait to get back to it. And because it's on the home stretch, I'm going to finish. So any questions? All right. We got 6 people online. Cool. A new record. 6 people watching live. Thanks for coming. A lot more people watch the recorded versions because this time it's 6 a.m. for me in Alaska. And that works for me. That's the best time. It's in between Stanley's morning walks. And my brain is working like it's supposed to. And I haven't completely lost my voice yet. And I'm still rocking some good coffee. Good coffee, Taster's Choice. I use instant. I like instant. So anyway, there we are. Thank you all for listening in. Good luck, but get out of your own way. Look for how you're sabotaging yourself in your own career. Don't do that because this could be the best career you've ever had. No matter how young or old you are, you can always tell a story. You can always learn to tell that story better. And there are people out there waiting for that kind of entertainment to read that story and then get your next one. Peace, fellow humans.